In this Bubble tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to add a time zone dropdown to a registration flow. And this can be very useful if anything in your app requires you to, say, hard like code in a time zone for a user. But before we get started, did you know you can be a Planet No Code member? That we've got over 100 Bubble tutorial videos. Many of them are member exclusive. They can only be found on our website. And if you like videos like this, it just helps our cause if you can like and subscribe. So let's jump into a Timezone API. And for that, I'm going to be using the API provided by timezoneDB.com. And so the endpoint is here. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into my plugins and add a new API. Name this timezoneDB. The authentication is a private key in the URL. And I'm going to use a get call. And say get list of time zones, and then I'm going to go and get my API key, paste it into the key value box, right, I think I can test it now. Oh, invalid API key. I think that's because they want key is the parameter name. Change that to key. Returns a non-object and you pick JSON. Okay, I think that is because if I look at the documentation here, I should say format equals JSON in the URL. So let's do that. But we could probably just add it as a parameter. Let's try that. Format JSON. Cool, here we go. So we get all of this time zone data back, tons of data. And one of the advantages of using the API call is that we don't just get the zone name, and that's what I mean by this part here. And that's what is essential for feeding back into dynamic time zone positions in Bubble. If you've gone into settings general and you've enabled time zone overrides, that's the label for the time zone that you'll need. But it also provides you with all of these GMT offsets. So that can be, again, helpful for doing calculations of converting different time zones for your users. But do remember that if countries have got daylight savings or their hours, it shifts by an hour here or there, then the GMT offset is going to change depending on the time of year that you save it from this API call. But anyway, it's still very useful. And so we can now go in, noticing that use as is data, and we can go into the zone. We can say dynamic choices, and we can say get list of time zone. And then we get data from external API, list of time zones. I think we need to have time zones, time zone, zones. Yes, there we go. Current options, zone name. Then if I preview, and now I get my list of time zones that I can pick. And again, the advantage of using the API is that we can not only save the zone name, but I can take data out, the extra data that the API provides. So I can say drop down time zones value GMC offset. So then if I go back here and I choose Fiji, that tells me the GMT offset of Fiji. So there you have it. That is a very quick way of using an external API to get a list of time zones, which can be very helpful for adding in a time zone drop-down picker to the registration flow of your Bubble app.